What if I told you what someone, somewhere, might have cracked the code of time? That right now, as we are watching this, there could be people walking among us. Not from the past, not from the future, but from both. Over the last century, strange photographs, unexplained footage, and chilling confessions have hinted at one terrifying possibility. Time travel might already be real. And this video will analyze the most shocking evidence ever caught on camera. A story that challenges everything we think we know about time. Buckle up. Because once you see this case, you'll never trust timeline again.
OBSCURA.
It was 1995. Mike Tyson, one of the most feared boxers in history, was stepping back into the ring. The crowd explosive, the cameras everywhere. But years later, someone notices something off. In a clip that's now been seen millions of times online. A person in the front row is holding what looks like a smartphone. A device that wasn't even invented until a decade later. Some say it's digital camera. Others, they believe we caught a timeline traveler filming something they already know was his story. But where it gets weird, the device appeared to have a flash screen, a lens layout, and even a front factor that looks eerily modern. Coincidence? Or proof that something brought future tech into a past? It's 1938. The crowd of workers leave a DuPont factory in Massachusetts. The feel authentic, the moment mundane. A young woman in coats, smiling, talking, into something she's holding to her ear. Something that looks a lot like a smartphone. People have slowed the footage down, analyze it in frame by frame. There's no upraised wall, no radio, just a handheld device. She's clearly speaking into. Is it a hearing aid? A portable radio prototype? Or was she calling someone from the future? An important file from a great person in history. A file that was never closed. Room 3327. Winter 1943, New York. 33th floor of the New Yorker Hotel. A quiet, cold room filled with silence that only mind steeped in a story can understand. Nikola Tesla, a man who lived years ahead of his time, died in that room. There was no news, no explosion, no ceremony. Just a simple servant opening the door and finding absolute silence. Tesla's lifeless body lay on the bed. But what remained in the room was not peaceful. Notebooks, documents, blueprints of a machine yet to be built, and designed that far beyond the compression of time were quickly collected by government agents. The order came directly from the FBI. According to official documents, the Office of Unclaimed Property, an agency of the US government, seizure of Tesla's intellectual property. Of all those who could investigate the case, the US government chose John G. Trump, an MIT physicist specializing in radiation technologies. His official report was simple and concise. Interesting scientific evidence, but no indication of impractical or dangerous inventions. In the decades that followed, with the rise of the internet, a wave of conspiracy theories emerged. Many of them were based on one claim: had Tesla really achieved technology that could bend the fabric of time? It was at this time that an old name was pulled out from under the dust of history. Ingersoll Rand, and the books he wrote in the late 19th century. Travels and adventure of leader Baron Trump and his wonderful deck Bulgar. Baron Trump's marvelous underground journey. The Last President. In the first 2 books, the main character is a boy named Baron Trump, an intelligent, unusual boy, fond of mental journeys and scientific adventure, who is guided by a mysterious figure named Don. In the story, He traveled throughout portal in the earth, an underground world, and to distance and near time. One point that theorists point out is that this dawn is not just a guide, but a direction of thoughts, not a real person. The similarity of Guide's name to Donald Trump and the similarity of Baron's name to Donald Trump is not considered a coincidence. But the most important lies in third book, The Last President. The story begins with a controversial election. A strange, unpredictable president is elected from New York. Massive protests take place in the street, and the country's socio-political atmosphere is thrown into chaos. The place where President is staying in the Hotel Pennsylvania, near Fifth Avenue, and nearer right where Trump Tower stand today. Is all this just a coincidence? Or are there pieces of puzzle that are not yet complete? Did John J. Trump, after reviewing Tesla's documents, simply submit a scientific report? Or did he say things he decided would never be made public? Did his family later inherit knowingly or unknowingly knowledge that was rooted in the future? Room 3327 no longer exists. It was renovated. Its number changed. But those who have spent the night there sometimes hear the hiss of electrical of the hum of frequencies that are not audible to the average human ear. On the old vaulted room, the sentence is still written in faded ink. If you want to find the secret of universe, think there of energy, frequency, and vibration. Unsolved case. A traveler from an unknown future. It had its own completion. But with the evidence, I want to prove to you that this case is true. Remember the person's name, because the hidden truth is here. Andrew Carson first entered the news and investment scene mysteriously and suddenly in 2003. With an initial investment of about $800, he was able to make a profit of $350 million. In less than a few weeks, and no one could explain it how this was possible. Andrew claimed to be originally from the year 2256 and to have come our time with the help of a time travel device to use his knowledge of the future to predict financial markets and make huge profits. Andrew Carson claimed that time travel technology was invented in 2249 and that he was one of the first to successfully use it. Half-traveler did several times between 2256 and 2003 to gather important economic and political information about the future. After starting his career on the New York Stock Exchange, suddenly all his trades were successful and profitable. And no one could understand the reason for this unusual successes. News of Andres' unexpected and strange profit quickly spread through the media, and reports out uncovered his secret. Some of Andres' interviews and statements about time travel, the future, attracted a lot of attention and widespread discussion aroused about the possibility of time travel. But the main question is, true or a big lie? Under mysteriously disappears. No clear photo, no interviews, no evidence of his existence. The only photo recorded of the last moment it was seen is this one showing Andre being attracted. After Anders' disappearance, news of legend and media joke spread, saying Anders is merely a fictional and unreal character, and all this news was a joke. But the first time in a story, I have evidence to prove Andrew Carson was real, genuine person, and his presence was recorded, but in another time. Sit science. Before you do, check out this time machine proof. In the spring of 1941, a bridge in southern British Columbia, Canada, called the South Front Bridge, was repairing. The people of a small town had gathered to watch the opening ceremony of the new bridge. Among them stood an unidentified professional photographer, probably hired by the local government or a construction company. With his large camera, captured in few memorable images of the crowd, the bridge, and the surrounding area. At the time, these photos were kept only in official archives and not released to the public. No photographer was named. No specific image went viral until decades later. Something strange happened. In the early 2000s, a collection of British Columbia historic photography archives was digital and released by the Virtual Museum of Canada. One of the photos was from the very day the South Fork Bridge opened. The photo didn't attract much attention at first until in 2010. A serious user at online forum noticed something strange about it. On the right side of the photo, amidst a crowd dressed in 4x2 ear uniforms and hats, stood a man who looked exactly like our day. What makes this photo unusual? This man. He was wearing dark, wide-rimmed sunglasses, a style that was not yet popular at the time. He was wearing a simple t-shirt with a graphic logo, a very unusual style for 1941. He was wearing a modern style jacket, And most importantly, in his hands was a rectangular object resembling an iPad or tablet, which he was looking at intently, as if were reading or watching something. I'm sure he was standing there to see something more important than the bridge. And finally, let's get to the real story and shake the world. This photo was taken in 1938 as the only photo ever taken of this place at the time. In this photo, a man is seen wearing sunglasses, logo t-shirt, and holding a small camera. A look that differs from the formal athlete of the other people in the photo. It is more similar to a modern style. This photo was published on the internet in 2012 and quickly attracted the attention of users. This photo is alone extremely mysterious, proof of time travel. But what is more important and shocking than anything else is presence of the person in this photo that we have already talking about, Andrew Carson. This photo was taken in 1938 and it features Andrew Carson, and we can see Andrew's face. With this evidence, obtained from another mysterious case, we can confirm Andrew's existence in the real world. What he was talking about, time travel, is real. Now, given explanation, these questions are very important. My timeline is Andrew's is now, and where in the world is he? If you had Andrew's time machine, what period in his story would you go to? Why didn't government let us find out the truth and had Andrews arrested? Time, it bends, it breaks, it echoes throughout the fabric of reality. What if they've been here before? What makes you so sure you're not being watched right now? Maybe you saw one and your brain just refused to process it. A glitch, a shadow, a camera from a time that hasn't happened yet. You're not holding. We just stop it noticing.